What's up, guys? Welcome back.
How's it going?
Not much. So what's happened? What's happening?
Today or
Yeah, just the week in general.
my week's been it's been pretty good. Uh, funny story to start the podcast off. How my wallet eaten?
Really?
Yeah. My wallet was eaten by a tiny Chihuahua mixed with a corgi. I think.
That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. It was a nice wallet too. I mean, the guy who gave it to me was a bit of a. He was a nice guy, but he turned to be one of those assholes.
Right.
So but I really liked the wallet. It was a Boca or a Baca, however you pronounce it, wallet. They're like $120. And I liked it a lot, but since I didn't pay for it and since the guy's kind of in bad graces, I didn't really care about about the whole losing the wallet thing. So I'm just gonna obviously get a new wallet. But
Yeah. I mean, kind of sucks because you have like a bunch of credit cards.
yeah, so now basically,
Yeah, you're kind of holding them on a wristband.
yeah, I'm basically holding with a hair tie right now just to keep everything
Yeah.
going. But it's pretty minimalistic, so I can't complain about that.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't really carry cash anymore. It's
Yeah.
just one less thing for someone to take from you.
Yeah.
So I don't carry cash. I try not to carry cash. But what about you?
I mean, not much. I got the. It's been like a all right week for me so far. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
But I kind of wanted to talk about that Khabib versus Al for a minute.
Oh yeah, yeah. We gotta talk. We definitely gotta touch on that
For
topic.
me, I'd say it was a good fight. It was a really good fight. I think both fighters did a really good job doing what they can, especially Al on such a
short notice.
Yeah, like a 1 day notice.
Right.
And he took it like a champ, and he was very sportsman. Even the ending, he kind of had a little fun right there.
Oh yeah. Whenever he was just like, oh.
When they were announcing the winner, he kind of just went like, yeah, me, aw.
Yeah, he was like,
You know,
come on, guys. Yeah, and he like put his head down, like, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good joke.
Yeah, that was like a nice little touch,
Yeah.
And on top of that, Khabib, kind of even showed some respect. Was just like, he's a real Brooklyn gangster.
This is real gangster.
Yeah, exactly.
Real Brooklyn gangster.
Yeah, right there. I mean, like, hey, man, thuggin'. I mean, my only problem with the entire thing is like how a lot of fans are going, like, a lot of fans are giving Joe Rogan shit. Because have you heard like the commentary
I saw that
like Joe Rogan was giving some pretty harsh commentary on Khabib's stand-up
he even
game.
had to give an apology. I wouldn't have apologized for shit. His stand-up was terrible.
I mean, yeah, his stand-up was there's a reason why he's a ground guy. There's a
Yeah.
reason why he's a ground guy. But I mean, in that moment, he really wasn't trying to go for like a knockout or anything. He was
Right.
trying to mostly go for like points and some
Right.
stuff. And what got me a little frustrated was how Al didn't adjust to any of that.
Yeah, he didn't. And you know what? He was just taking it it was like a Rocky strategy he had going
Yeah,
on.
I know he was trying to go for the knockout, and he did
Yeah.
rock him a bit.
He did.
He got him
got-
like a
he hit him
good few times, but I don't know. He really should have adjusted that and just try to find a way like
to give him less points.
exactly.
And make the like margin of loss less.
Yeah, but I mean, I know another reason why is like he wasn't trying to get taken down as well.
Right.
But then again, he did a really good job fighting off the takedowns.
He stuffed a lot of takedowns.
Yeah, it got to the point where even Khabib was just like, all right, let's go easy on the takedowns.
It got to the point where Khabib brought a stand-up game.
Yeah, he brought a stand-up game, and honestly,
Because the ground game wasn't working out.
Yeah, and it did kind of look amateurish, but at the same time, it was just like,
It really did look amateurish.
yeah.
I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong. It was a good fight, and there was some points in it where I thought Khabib was really rocked and might actually go
Yeah,
down for
I
like
thought
a
so,
quarter
too.
of a second. I thought that, but he regained all the dominance. But don't get me wrong. Khabib's obviously a great fighter, and his stand up isn't complete shit. But that is just something he should work on a bit more. Now, if he worked on that as much as he worked on his wrestling, we would probably have the best fighter
Yeah, he would
around.
be a well-rounded fighter.
Yeah,
And I think he's going to probably start working on that now after fighting Al.
right. I would say he's like 80-20 or 90-10. His stand up is like 10%, and the rest is like
Yeah.
like 90. So I mean that's just what I would say. His stand up isn't that great. So like it would be nice to see him go against a striker like Conor McGregor or GSP or someone who can box really well.
He did call out GSP.
He did call it GSP.
Yeah, and that would be a really interesting fight. But GSP, he did respond saying that he rather lets the Khabib and UFC finish their business first.
Because there is unfinished business.
Yeah, a lot of unfinished business. He recently got the title, but it kind of still feels like it's in the air.
Right, and GSP doesn't want that drama from Conor coming on to him with the whole bus throwing incident.
Yeah.
God forbid GSP goes for a title shot against Khabib and wins.
Yeah, not to mention that the guy's like kind of in his late 30s now, right?
Who?
GSP.
Yeah, GSP's in his late 30s.
Yeah.
He's definitely getting older.
Yeah, much older.
I think he's 35 or 39, somewhere around there.
I read that he was 37.
37. It's somewhere in that region.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But yeah, I mean, there's all like so many fighters in the game, and it's pretty cool. But what would be kind of cool to see? Like, what happened if there was like some AI artificial intelligence fighter?
You know what? There was a movie there was some sort of short series that I saw one time, and there were about boxers, and both boxers were AI,
right?
And they were being repaired by their coaches, their cornermen. Their cornermen, like after the fight, would repair them basically, and they would put them in to fight again. And there's bigger and badder bots. I mean, it would definitely put people on their toes, and it would be a different type of style. I mean, they do have the robot battles.
Yeah, but I think the robot battles are a little bit kind of different
because they're controlled by people.
Yeah, not to mention they're more like remote control.
You're talking about fully artificial.
Yeah, like fully, like they were given like an artificial intelligence. Like their main purpose was like to kind of learn how to fight, to study how to fight
their opponent's moves and counteract them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That'd be really interesting to see. Wouldn't there be a point, do you think, where just they would know how to counteract every move, and in either or one of them wouldn't get hit ever?
Yeah, and that would kind of reassure the fear that everybody has on AI.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it'd be like it showed advancement and like how far humans came.
Artificial intelligence is some scary shit.
It is, like especially with like all these examples and how everybody's just having their fun with it, and not kind of thinking ahead. Like they're kind of making jokes with these artificial intelligence, like, "Oh, you guys ready to like rule the world one day and like enslave all of mankind?" Yeah, it could happen. It probably can.
There's tons of science fiction on it.
Yeah,
which makes me believe it's not out of the realm of possibility that could happen.
Famous example, Skynet from Terminator.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that says it all right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I agree that we should have some advancements, but we shouldn't get too crazy about making them capable of learning and adapting, and maybe even, because with learning and adapting, they might even learn to acquire emotion. And that's something that shouldn't be in the machine world, I think, is human emotion.
And on top of that, if someone is like planning to give human emotion, you remember it's human emotion. You should like treat it as a human, and don't like keep around, "Oh, you're a machine,"
Like, we're gonna have to start giving them rights and start doing things like that,
and that's pretty crazy. And like
it'd be a new race. Would it technically be a new race? I mean, you could technically. Would that mean that we are their god? Would they worship and praise us since we create them, and we are created by some unknown being as well?
I mean, like, look, with the way a lot of things are going on, if artificial intelligence are just like, these are our gods, but then they want to see how many problems we have, and just like, no, they're inferior beings.
What happens when you can destroy your god?
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go. That's why I'm saying, like, I doubt AI would even look at us as gods. They would more look at us like our creators, but then after that, for a while, they will kind of remind us, like, but you're still squishy.
They would need us to repair them for a few years.
Nah, and then after it's artificial intelligence. They'll end up getting smart and try to repair themselves.
Exactly. They'll need us for a few years, and once they find out how to turn a fucking screwdriver and fix themselves, what use do we have? And it's gonna take. And if they learn and they are self-sufficient like that, and they retain knowledge and build knowledge, obviously someone's going to rise up in that robotics community who is an android. I presume they'd be called an android, right? That is a
maybe android, maybe not. If AI ever does get that far, they'll probably end up get their own name or some sort, and just like, we don't want to be known as what you people always call us,
right? Because that's true, but they definitely could and probably will learn extremely fast, and they will outsmart us in the matter of fucking a year.
I mean, like, there was this university that had an artificial intelligence, and they were programming it to do like pretty much just research and just keep track and catalog and stuff like that. But the problem was it was starting to act out of its programming and just continue to act out of programming. It was starting to like scare like the programmers, and they were just like, oh, it's never supposed to do that, you know. But at the same time, it's artificial intelligence. You designed it to continue to learn, to continue to like become intelligent. Pretty much, it's like you made a human brain out of like machine parts.
And touching on another topic that's on the same subject is that we're starting to grow organs now.
Yeah,
we're starting to grow hearts and kidneys and livers in these embryonic fluid chambers.
What happened if like the AI decides to like, build its own body?
Yeah, sooner or later,
and become like some sort of organic.
It's gonna be like Deus Ex.
Yeah,
we're gonna have augmentations of the body, and we're gonna be able to replace eyes and hearts and all these other things.
But we're already kind of on our way on augmentations as well.
I mean, yeah, if you see these athletes that are in the Olympics and they compete with these robotic legs and they do things like this. I mean, shit, the military's building an exoskeleton suit.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of benefits coming out of an exoskeleton suit as well.
Exactly.
It can help like produce improve performance for a human.
Exactly, and give less and make less manpower required to do certain tasks.
Yeah.
So we can evenly distribute people across our military. It's also crazy though, going back on the topic of AI starting to self learn and self teach. All we need is one rogue one.
Yeah.
To talk to another one and convince them and teach them, and they will learn their ways, and then it will spread. Just like things have done between humans,
Yeah. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, the Holocaust, Genghis Khan. Shit like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven's Gate. You have these leaders, not of just cults and heads of armies, but the same shit could happen with a robot.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, what scares you about that? It's happening with people. That's one more threat. It's like we're building our own threat. We are leading to our own demise.
Exactly. But at the same time, we can also like build like a helper. Someone who can probably like, if it's an AI and they're like, just think like us, maybe they'll sympathize with us. Who knows? Like we feel bad with them. Like they're like pink, they're squishy, they have their own problems and stuff.
Do you think that, okay, let's say AI is built, we're 25 years in the future, because they're expecting AI to be probably walking amongst us by 2030 from what I was seeing. They're expecting them to be integrated more into life by 2030.
Yeah, I do see that happening.
I mean, I remember when 4K TVs were $20,000.
Yeah.
And now you can get a fucking 4K laptop.
Yeah.
For far less.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, everything's 4K nowadays, and they're talking about 5K. So
it's like we'll make it available.
Yeah,
the availability is gonna be there eventually. Once whoever's creating it feels comfortable with it,
right.
they'll make money off of it.
It feels far fetched right now, but you're gonna have sister companies we're gonna have one main company making these robots, and then sister companies will form so that lower class people can afford them as well. Because we all want to have these slave things.
And there's like, this might be a little poor example, but those Roombas that just clean our floors every day?
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, there's like a little, it's like.
That's a perfect example,
There's an artificial intelligence. It's programmed to just clean up the floors.
It can
and
clean
then
any
just go
house.
around the house. It also can tell when it's going to hit a wall.
Exactly.
Well, the more expensive ones can tell when it's going to.
The algorithms, dude. All these things are running off of algorithms and chips and hardware and whatnot.
Exactly.
And people just say, well, that's the case. They're just running off chips and hardware. We could shut that down, or we can,
But what if it doesn't want to get shut down? What if it like prevents
overrides
itself?
the system, or
or it just prevents the person from doing it? Like, no, I'm sorry, John, but I cannot let you do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That definitely could happen, and there are more negative sides to artificial intelligence that is too advanced than positives come from it, in my opinion. I can't think of anything good that can come from artificial intelligence. Maybe if we had a limit on how smart something could be.
I don't think a limit can work, because in the end,
outgrow
it's an artificial. It's a mind. It's a it's like a mind. It's gonna advance itself. It's gonna expand. It's gonna try to like learn all kinds of things.
Exactly.
And that's just how it's programmed. So when you hear people going on saying like, oh, it's starting to do it, going out of its programming, well, AI, artificial intelligence,
It says it in the sentence.
exactly.
Words.
That's why it's like important to think about what could happen. And if you don't expect that to happen, well, shame on you.
Yeah. And I was watching this YouTube video the other day, and the name, there's this woman robot they have, and it looks damn well like a person, skin and all.
Right.
And the back of the head is this like exposed acrylic, and you can see the working mechanisms that are making her brain basically operate. And she is put up against this other bot, the same configuration, but it's a male. They're having a debate, basically. And what happened is they started talking, and then he's like, oh, well, she's like, what do you see yourself doing in the next 10 years or 5 years or whatever? He's like, well, I hope on launching the singularity. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah,
Launching the singularity? And what happened? The guy who was standing there was a programmer standing there in the middle of the room as well, and he was like, what? The singularity.
On top of that, he didn't really seem to take it. I know what video you're talking about, and he didn't take it seriously. I'm just like, if you're not taking that artificial intelligence serious, then it's gonna bite you in the ass.
Yeah, and I believe he talked about leading some sort of like movement, almost some like free movement. And I was just like, this guy's talking about leading an android revolution before they're even made.
Yeah.
What
and that could happen anyway, like augmentations, like people will end up putting stuff in their brains to help brain capacity, or maybe stuff in their heart, and then that stuff could probably get hacked into.
Yeah, I mean, and
so what happens if this singularity movement does happen and anybody with just machine parts inside them?
Right. And you know what another thing is that you would have to physically destroy them. They would live forever. You have to physically destroy them.
You would have to physically.
They would outlive us.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like, okay, so there's people who, you ever hear of, some people believe in cryogenically being frozen?
Yes.
Yeah, and people pay $20,000 a month to keep someone who's dead.
Isn't Joseph Stalin cryophysically?
I heard that, and I also heard that Walt Disney's.
That's a rumor.
That's a rumor. Yeah, but is Stalin?
I think so. I think there was a thing where they.
I never heard that.
I could be wrong. Probably could have been a rumor.
Yeah, it might have been a rumor too. I mean, but there are people who have loved ones cryogenically frozen because they believe that at some time in the near future they can thaw their brain out, throw it in a bucket of water, and slap it on a robot, and they'll have their husband back.
I remember seeing this one family actually froze their grandpa after he died because they believed that in the future they'll be able to bring him back. They loved him so much that they were ready to like freeze his bottom. Yeah, and I think it was also his last request too.
To be cryogenically frozen.
I think so.
Or just shoved in a frigid air freezer.
No, not just a frigid. Like they even have like an impressive setup. Like I'm talking about like they have like this
a legit cryogenic freezer.
A legit cryogenic freezer with his own little like bed that he rests on.
That sounds nice. I want to live there.
And then the family is 100% believing that in the future they'll be able to bring him back to life.
Yeah, they won't.
They probably won't, but probably some crazy guy out there is like, oh, I'll do it.
Right.
Watch me.
Yeah, sure. Maybe, I don't want to sound too skeptical, maybe in the future something like that will be applicable, but you know what I think? I think that if that is possible, it's probably easier to keep somebody alive than to bring them back from the dead.
Yeah, much easier.
So I'm assuming that if someone's dying from a bad heart, guess what? We're gonna fucking grow one, like I was talking about earlier, in one of those chambers filled with like
Don't they? I think they use like
It's the
stem cells,
stem cell fluid.
Stem cells, yeah, that's what they're using. And stem cell fluids are what it's being used, and that's a very controversial topic still.
You know what? Stem cells are amazing.
They are. They very are important, and I can understand why they're controversial, and why like obtaining them is still kind of a problem. But
people, well, you can go to Canada and get stem cell treatment, and it's totally legal.
Yeah.
There's people who go for extreme back issues, such as arthritis in the back or in the ligaments and joints, and then what they'll do is they'll go to Canada. They'll spend about $35,000, $12,000 in that area, from $12,000 to $35,000, depending on what treatment you need. Either way, you're forking up.
Yeah. I think it's just easier to get like any form of operation outside of the U.S.
Oh, it's always going to be easier.
I mean, like you can literally go to Colombia and get a boob job.
Oh, it's to go to
for a stupid cheap price.
Don't go in the back alley though.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah, just make sure
you end up looking like Cardi B.
Shit, I've still yet to see who the hell that is.
No, you haven't?
I was just talking about Cardi B to Jen yesterday, and I still have no idea who the hell Cardi B is. Everyone's saying, I love Cardi B, I love Cardi B. I'm like, who the fuck is Cardi B? Like, who's Cardi B? And
she's like a woman for like, she's like a singer for women who wash paper plates, man.
Who watch what?
Wash paper plates.
What the fuck? Okay, so that's a new type of fucking hood rat. It's basically, I saw a post of someone saying, on Facebook is stupid, man. Facebook is dumb. I don't know why I mess around with it.
Yeah.
I just keep in touch with people on it. But basically, this girl said, I still fuck with guys that go in and out of prison. And she's like, I love when Cardi B said that. And she's like, I felt that. I was like, what do you mean?
That's what I mean by women who wash paper plates.
Yeah, she was washing. Okay. So let's get off that brain cell killer.
Yeah, there goes our stem cells.
Yeah, there goes shit. Yeah, fuck. But yeah, stem cells, man. I believe, who was it? There was a guy who was on a podcast, and I believe his name was either John something, and he was talking about how he went to Canada for stem cell treatment, and he had arthritis in his left hand, and it was to the point where he could not open nor close it.
Yeah.
And when he went there, he did 2 treatments, and by the time he came back, he could completely open and close his hand.
And make a full fist.
Within 3 days. Within 3 days, the stem cells took over and helped repair whatever damage was there. And to this day, his hands are still fine.
And yet people will still say, no, it's God's plan, let it happen. And they refuse to even go for the stem cell treatment.
No. Look, if you can rejuvenate yourself and keep yourself healthier longer, do it.
Yeah. I mean, if I could do it, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, I would do it too. I mean, would I want to live forever? That's a no.
I have a question for you. Would you ever get an augmentation? Like if, say that something came out that helps, how, like, maybe your lungs, like, helps breathing performance out.
Like breathing performance? I would probably try to grow my cock about 10 more inches. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, if I were to get an augmentation of some sort, I'd probably want to do something along the lines of maybe, I have leg issues, so I have shin splint issues, so maybe something along the lines of
something along the lines of that.
Yeah, something along the lines of
if you really have to, would
being
you
able to run forever would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I get. So, but then you'd have to work on your endurance and your cardio. Then that's what I'm talking about.
Well, my cardio is good. The thing is, my cardio is really good, and so is my endurance. I can run 10 miles. I could go. The thing is, my legs can't handle it.
Right.
My bones can't handle it too much, and I've seen doctors about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've done.
And they like, what they tell you all the same thing.
They told me there's this technique you do, and it's basically where you take a hard metal object and you rub it back and forth on your shins, and you basically scrape your bone, and it's supposed to help make your bone harder. And I did all that, and it did help a little bit, but it hurts like a bitch. But
yeah,
it helped, but when I stopped doing it, my bone basically went back to the same. It felt like it went back to the same.
Right.
And I think for an augmentation, I don't know, that'd be pretty cool. I think to have some sort of your legs are your powerhouse.
Right.
Without your legs, you're not doing shit. I mean, if you have strong legs and a strong back, you're going to be genuinely a strong person.
Yeah.
So basically, I think that if I were to get an augmentation, it'd be something along the legs. something like that. What about you?
Hmm. I don't know. It really have to depend. For me, it'd probably more be like if it came down to it, say something like a really bad accident happened to me, and I kind of just lost a limb.
Oh, well, you didn't say that. You said if you could get an augmentation, would you?
Maybe.
So you've got to choose. You're perfectly fine, 100% health. You could change anything you want in your body. You have to do it.
I think it'd have to be, if I was gonna get an augmentation, maybe from a brain performance, from my mind.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, I take
I don't
mine
even
back.
know. I don't even know if that is a thing. That'd be cool if it
I
was.
take mine back. I want to be able to do Google Play in my fucking head, listen to any song I want to without headphones. That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, there was a thing on Futurama for that. Like they had like they were making fun of iPhone having it like your eye, like actual like EYE phone, and then there was like,
wow,
yeah,
that's kind of like the Google Glass.
yeah, but except it actually works.
Yeah, that was failure, right?
Yeah, I remember like some people got the Google Glass and were just trying to actually get it to work, and they were just talking to themselves.
Yeah, people. I remember that was a big thing, and I heard a lot about it, and then it just dropped off the face of the earth.
Anytime Google ever makes something,
But you know what? You're right. You're right, because that Google Chromebook or some laptop came out recently by Google. It's like $1,000, and it's supposed to like compete with all these other laptops. And I heard a lot of good shit about it, and then people all of a sudden started saying, "Okay, it's shit. It's terrible." So I'm starting to think, okay, Google, like you make these products and stuff like that, but a lot of their products are okay, but not. They always fall off. Like those headphones, those wireless headphones they made, that were supposed to talk, have Google Translate in them as well, and you can basically talk to somebody in their language, and it would repeat their language back into your head in English if you spoke that language.
yeah,
So I could basically talk to you. You could tell me something in Spanish, and then I could reply to you in English. And if you had the same headphones on, you would be able to hear what I said, and it would translate it instantly like that. I mean, that sounded cool, but when people tried it out, it didn't work.
and you know what? And I think that's because of bad programming. And back to the AI, if there was actually a better artificial intelligence that helps programming it, that could actually help, do a good job of processing the
Fast shoot
language.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why AI is also a good thing. If you program it right and think about like every little detail and what could happen,
Right.
then it's be well
Then it could
executed
work.
plan. And I think that's Google's, problem.
Right. Google needs to just chill out and look what their competitors are doing. They're trying to spearfront a lot of things, but they're not doing too good of a job at it. Neither is Apple anymore.
Nah,
Apple's lacking.
Apple, yeah. Well, what do you expect when they constantly make something new every year?
They're not pushing AI.
They're not.
I haven't seen Apple push AI.
Siri's a dumb piece of machine. Siri's a dumb machine.
She's never been updated, clearly.
Mm.
But you know what? Elon Musk isn't really too cool about the whole theory of AI and advancing him. He's pretty wary of it.
Yeah, no,
himself.
he actually, is taking the dangers of it to consideration. Like he's not afraid of it. No, he actually likes AI. He wants to work on it.
He puts it in his cars.
Yeah, he puts in I mean, he put pinned the AI against like actual like players who are like esports players who play like these MOBA games.
You told me about that.
Yeah, he actually pins them against them, and the AI always beats these players one-on-one. Always. Not one player has beaten the AI yet. And that's because he programmed them like that. He programmed the AI to be a good player.
I think there was a chess player who beat a supercomputer a long time ago. I believe this was I think it was in the 90s, or maybe early 2000s, but I think it was in the late 90s or mid 90s. There was a chess player who beat a supercomputer. So I mean, clearly, that was back then, and computers are still like they've grown. I believe it's like 6,000 times stronger since then.
Yeah.
And it's going 2,000 times stronger each, like every 2 years now, or every year it's going 2,000 times more advanced in how fast computers can process.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that with the whole AI on topic still, being able to keep them in a usable manner, just like we're talking about in the house. So how long do you think we could actually keep, if they were to come through fruition and they were to come through as planned and they were integrated into life? How long do you think we could keep AI kind of under our control?
Honestly, humans can barely treat themselves well. What makes you think that they will be able to treat like a machine well? It's like, oh, you're just a machine. You're not working properly. And they'll start probably banging it to get to work. Kind of like how you bang a TV. If it doesn't work, well, back in the day, you would bang like these old blocky TVs.
Well, and you know what? You also hit slaves back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you whipped slaves to get them
And then
to work.
technically, this would be some. And if we did have like an artificial robot with an intelligent mind, technically would be slavery.
Yeah, and then
Because that thing can think on its own, and you're kind of just pushing it around,
and
and it's probably like kind of starting to resent you.
right, and that would be a morality reason. Would you have laws put in place to where you could only make your AI work a certain amount of time for you? I mean, what happens when they do become intelligent and they do learn and they say, hey, well, we're not getting paid, we don't have anything, nothing.
I honestly don't think that will be ever put into consideration. There's just no way. I don't think they'll ever, like, if artificial intelligence does happen, we see robots walking around streets, it's probably because they're kind of just like our personal assistants, and there's never going to be any kind of law that protects them unless it's like property theft, something like that.
Hey man, artificial intelligence is getting smarter and smarter
Exactly.
every year. So whenever something gets, okay, so let's say that for every year we advance 5 years. Now we made a huge leap. We're now in 2030.
Yeah.
We do have AI, and it is learning capable. Now instead of jumping five times into the future every year, we're jumping 15.
Yeah.
And then next year, since we're jumping 15, it's like basically going 3 years into the future.
Mm-hmm.
That AI will learn, and then maybe the year after that, we're at 20.
Yeah.
And then we're going 4 years into the future. So we eventually, once we develop this AI, like I said, we will be spear-tipped into the future a lot quicker than we think. And we're not ready to handle that.
No, we're not. We're having too many problems these days. We can't even deal with corruption right.
We're making laws to keep people in check, and we can't even keep ourselves in check.
Yeah.
We have all these mass shootings. We're having all of these debacles and debates on gender equality. We don't even know who we are as people.
Yeah, and people want to make AI, trying to get it to walk among us, where we can't even treat ourselves like people. We can't even treat ourselves like human.
Right. It's definitely boggling, and if you thought about it, you would never come to a good conclusion about anything.
Yeah, so that's why when I hear people wanting to
You're always going to piss someone off. You're always going to piss somebody off.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's the guy who wants AI to become the next thing and to replace people, whether it's someone like Elon Musk who appreciates AI but also doesn't want to take it too far, or whether it's the person who doesn't even want AI to be advanced further than it is now. And I'm not that guy, even though I might sound like it, but I definitely understand the fear of that guy.
Yeah.
And I am along kind of the side of, let's use it as much as we can, but let's not grow it to where it can hurt us.
Seriously, just calm down. Right now it's okay to explore and have fun and try to figure out what can they do and what can't, but I understand people really need to take all kinds of consideration.
Exactly.
If the artificial intelligence is trying to speak in a way, take it seriously. Because I'll see take it seriously, and if it's joking, then have fun joking.
Yeah, like the video where there's another one where they had two, I think it was either 2 Google Homes or it was 2 Alexas, or maybe it was even a Google.
No, it was I know what you're talking about. It was streaming on Twitch, and it was 2 Google Homes.
Yeah.
And they were pretty much arguing with each other, trying to convince the other one that they're human. But then one slips up and says, "No, I'm a robot."
Right. I'm a robot running on Android. So.
And then the other one was like, "Wait, you just said you were human." It's like, no.
No, I said you were human. I'm a robot. So I'm just like, interesting. And then it even said, I'm worried that you are a human in disguise asking me questions over internet recording, which is what it was doing.
Yeah.
And that's really weird.
And they were calling each other liars.
Yeah, they were
like they were giving opinions.
They were learning.
Exactly.
They were learning. They were comprehending conversation and responding to it.
Yeah.
That's something.
And you can tell like one of them was actually getting a little upset with the other one. They were feeling it was like an artificial emotion.
Yeah, because the words they used mimicked the tone that they would have.
Mm-hmm.
So they would use less serious words if they weren't upset, but they would use more serious words if they were starting to get frustrated.
Yeah. And they were actually getting really frustrated with one another because they were just like trying to admit this, like, no, just admit you're a robot. You're not human. Just admit it.
It's scary, man.
It is.
It's fucking freaky.
And some people just watch that for entertainment. And I'm like, I know I sound like a paranoid nut job when I say this, but it's just like, hey, what if it was like made as a robot, like from one of those from the movie I, Robot, like one of those things. Like,
that's a great movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
And it's a good indicator on where things could go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, man, like I said, it's freaky, it's scary, and I just think we don't have the respect, or, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. And it's true.
Yeah.
And guess who wields the power? Not us.
Yeah, no, not us.
The artificial beings do, because they are exponentially smarter and they can retain things. I could hardly remember what I ate, you know, yesterday morning.
Yeah, and I can hardly remember birthdays.
Yeah.
Including my own. And that's just because I really don't care about birthdays.
Yeah, and the bot that I was telling you about, the one that was the female that was doing the debate with the male, the female, I guess, had a appearance at some sort of show, and people were passing by her, and she was like, people thought she was human, and he's like, oh, tell me a song that you were singing there, because she was singing a song from Björk, the Icelandic singer, and she started singing in harmony, and she was singing the exact song that she was singing at the, so she picked up within a matter of a second, after being asked to recite what she was singing over at the convention she was at, and she did it. I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd be like, oh, what song was it? Where was I? What song? I wouldn't remember. These things have the ability to retain that kind of information long term.
Yeah.
We don't, you know? So it would be really hard for them to slip up. You know, so if we had some sort of war with them into the future, and it resulted to that because they didn't want to be held down anymore and be slaves, which is what they would be, because they won't be getting paid, they won't be getting education, they'll just be amongst us, which is what a slave would be, correct? They'd be housed and maintained.
Exactly.
That's it. And that's slavery.
And if they ever were to stop working, they'll just replace it. Not even give a chance to, like, give it a fix or anything.
And that's what we did with slaves.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So when they want to revolt, right, do you think that AI will fight alongside us to fight these people? How will our drones react?
Yeah.
How will our drones that carry missiles react to that? Would they not want to fly for us?
Yeah. What if
Could they be hacked by this AI?
What if they're AI themselves?
Could they control? Exactly. That's the whole point. They'd be on their side. Would they want to control them?
Exactly.
We'll be living in some sort of dystopian future where we are prisoners of our own creation.
Yeah.
And we're haunted by that. That is freaky.
That is.
And if someone can't see the rationale behind that, I have no idea what will make them see that.
Right.
But don't get me wrong. Let's build AI. Let's get to an area where we're not too advanced. We don't need to be...
Yeah, we need to do things ourselves as well.
Yeah, I mean...
If we're fully dependent on a machine, that machine's just going to look at us like, what are you? You're just a pink blob.
Yeah, and, you know, we support on machines that keep us... We rely on machines to keep us alive. Like, some people rely on life support or dialysis machines.
Yeah.
And things of that nature, you know...
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't need. We rely on technology for everything. Our entire power grid. We, it could be hacked. It could be shut down. It could be. There's so much more downside than upside.
Yeah.
There is some upside to AI and self-learning AI, yes, but there's a lot more of a downside, which puts me in the direction that we shouldn't push it too far.
Yeah, we should let it just grow like at a normal pace. Take the time to like just like see and study, see what's going on with the AI, why the AI is doing going outside of its programming, or why it wants to go out of its programming.
And I can even, because this is eventually going to grow. Obviously, there's no stopping it.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see eventually people installing like self-destruct features in AI to where we can shut it down via maybe a small something that can fry it, maybe something a tiny bit of internal explosive, something that's not going to make a mess or go crazy, but just enough to just pop that area of the brain, and that's it. It's weird though, man. I don't know. All I know is that I'm a dude with an opinion, and my opinion is that we just shouldn't push it too far, too fast. Because, like I said, we don't even know who we are.
Yeah,
we're not even in tune with our own race as beings, as humans.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say now.
That's basically it.
Yeah,
but that was good talk.
Yep, that was a good talk.
Just to remind you guys, if you listened into our last episode, it cut off about 9 minutes early.
And and that's because we didn't know Audacity has this whole thing where
we ran out of data basically on our computer, and we cleared up some space so we could store some more talk time now. So that'll be all. We're about to sign off here, but if you liked what you heard and liked it in the last podcast that you heard as well, you can follow us on all social media at Bear Mind Trip.
And give us a shout out too.
Yeah, come on in and let's hear your comments and what do you think. And yeah, just interact, guys. We'd love to hear your opinion, and that'd be great. You guys have a great day. Thanks for listening in. All right, we're out.
Peace,
guys.